Bless you.
Nothing, just clearing up my throat.
Oh, okay. Do the intro.
I forget which one this is. 15? 15. Okay, it is Ray and
Liz.
And in the background is
Tatsu.
Who is here all the way from Chicago, Texas, wherever, outer space.
Both.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying I'm sorry I got the last podcast up relatively late.
So much for Fridays being the new...
Hey!
The cat's chewing on the headphones.
Yeah.
So much for Fridays being the new upload day.
It will be. I just have to slowly get used to the new schedule, that's all.
Yeah.
Which means we need to record earlier in the week.
I know.
So that means like Saturday, Sunday.
Well,
recording.
you know I'm free all the time, so...
Yeah. Well, I'm got get used
I know,
to
it's you.
I'm still used to being like, okay, we can record Tuesday. Shit, I have to get it Friday. That means I have to edit, and I didn't make time for me to actually edit. Yeah. I'm not gonna mention all my excuses. I just named off a whole list of them.
He's just naming off excuses. But news on the me being awesome front. I am now on my medicine again, and it is fucking sweet. No, give me about 6 weeks or so, and I will be a lot better than what I was. I am so excited. I'm on my Adderall, and he gave me Ambien, which is a sleep aid, which means basically a whole string of uppers and downers. And I know, blah, blah, blah. People say that's bad for you, blah, blah, blah. But if you had an autonomic nervous disorder, you guys wouldn't be saying that because it sucks.
Yeah.
So,
And, yeah. Just a quick comment on this podcast here. I know this is supposed to be this month's video podcast. Yeah, it's supposed to be. But I changed my mind. Not on the whole video podcast. We're still going to have a video podcast. Next week will be the video podcast.
well, yeah, because we're going back to Fort
Yeah,
Walton.
that's the reason I didn't want to do it this week was because last week was pretty much a vlog. The one which I uploaded like a
I
couple days
kind
ago.
of dig that, though.
The whole...
Like both. Like
Doing
having
both
it
at the
in
same
the
time?
same one.
Yeah, no, that's what I was starting to
Yeah.
feel like. Like when I was editing it, that's where I was like, I kind of like this going between, okay, let's podcast and just elaborate the little in-betweens that happened
Yeah.
since vlogging, and then we show the vlog.
I
So,
kinda like that.
yeah, this actually might turn into just instead of a podcast vlog, a vlog podcast, where we'll actually just vlog throughout, and then the podcast will be on Podomatic. So we still have the podcast aspect of it, but on YouTube it'll actually be fit. Hey, shit!
The cat.
Fucking pawed at the cable and tried to bite it. That's not cool.
But I definitely agree with the video stuff. I think that'd be cool because
Yeah.
I dig it. I don't like being on camera myself, but
When there's other people around.
well, I just like it because I know you like it, and as long as I don't show up on camera so often, like my voice can. My voice can show up on camera. I just prefer not
Your
to.
voice.
Well, yeah.
Your voice can't show up on anything.
Well,
it
it's
just
heard.
usually-
Shut up. I will kick you in the face.
And I know
We
you
all know
totally
I can reach that high.
Yes, you can. And now you got more energy with these pills, so you could
Yeah.
probably not just kick me in the face. You probably kick
Curb
my
stomp
ass.
you.
Yeah. Oh God. No, that just reminded me when Meg did that to Peter. And then
It will be awesome.
Ugh.
Just give me a couple months and I will be like a completely different person. It's like
well, we'll definitely see it in the vlogs and stuff. So
it's like back when you first met me kind of
Yeah.
thing, cuz it's weird, but that's like my quote unquote normal me and this is like my abnormal me, but really
like what
my
Steven said.
Yeah, well, that was kind of hurtful in a way because he called me and he was excited that I was back on my pills and he's like, yeah, you're gonna be normal again and nice. And I was like, you do know that that's artificial, right? Like that's not me. Like that's all
the
pill
pills.
induced. Yeah, like that's the fake me. I'm like, you like the fake me, you don't like the real me. Because the real me, I mean, I'm sarcastic anyway, but the real me is a lot more harsh to whip out the comments, you know? Like, I guess I can be a bit insensitive, but I'm just really blunt. Like, all the time, even when I'm on my pills, but I can be a bit more insensitive and comment things, like, when I probably should keep my mouth shut, like, in the improper times, I guess. But he likes the fake me. He doesn't like the real me. So I guess I'll always have to be on meds.
Oh well. Well, at least you're back on them now.
I know. I'm excited.
You're gonna feel much better.
Just give me, a couple days and I'll feel so much better. I gotta make sure that this, the Ambien, it apparently affects you as sleepwalking. And I used to be an avid sleepwalker when I was a child. I would walk all the way downstairs to the kitchen, get a drink of water, and walk all the way back up the stairs, completely asleep.
You've told me, like, you've told me before that you'd wake up in the morning and be like, why is there an empty glass next to me?
Yep. But the problem is that with Ambien, people will think that they'll be asleep, but they'll go about their day like normal. Like the woman, I told you that the woman made a sandwich in the middle of the night and she didn't remember, so her husband showed her the stuff she pulled out and didn't put back. And then the man who drove his car into his neighbor's fence while he was asleep.
My friend Cooper, I used to work with him at AT&T. He had a really bad sleep disorder. Once a month he'd have to go to the sleep center so that he could be checked out. And whatever, I don't know if he gets prescribed there or if he has another doctor that prescribes him stuff. Anyway, he said the worst that he's had it was, and his fiance had told him this, he woke up, drove to Walmart, came home, put up new curtains, which he bought, and then went to sleep. And he woke up, it's like, why do we have new curtains in the living room? She's like, you went to Walmart last night and came home with them. You put them up and everything. You got the rod down, you took the old ones off, you put the new ones on, got on a chair, put it back up, and went to sleep.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah. I'm just like, there is such a thing as sleep, like sleep sex, isn't there?
Oh.
There has to be. If you could do anything sleepwalking, then I'd say there has to be.
I don't know.
Starting it and then like actually going back to sleep in the middle of it.
Yeah, that'd be worse. Falling like right in the middle.
Damn it, not again.
That has never happened to me before, so I would not know. But it'll be interesting. I'm going to have to stick a chair in front of the front door.
To keep you from...
Well, just in case, because I really don't want to drive my truck into the woods.
Oh, yeah,
just
this
saying.
is true. Where's Liz's car? It's about 20 feet in there.
Yeah, it's about 20 feet in there. So I'm going to set a chair in front of the door and make sure to lock both of the... I always lock both of the deadbolts anyway, but I don't know, maybe
you have to put something in front of the door because if you just rely on the deadbolts, you're already used to it. So I'm pretty sure your brain subconsciously is going to think to
I don't know, maybe
them.
I want to get like a chain or something. I don't know, because then I'll be used to putting it on. And
yeah, you don't want to make it a usual thing.
I don't know, it'll be interesting.
Either that or you're just going to have to do different things. Like one night you might want to put a chair, another night you want to lock, I don't know, you have to figure something out.
I'm just going to have to do something, maybe like, I don't know.
Put a lock.
We'll see. It's no guarantee that I'll do that anyway.
Do it like this. Lock the bedroom from the outside hallway, then you have to go through the bathroom to...
I don't have any locks on any of my doors in the house. Just on the outside. Well, I can't change too much of it because I have to fix everything back to normal.
Yeah, when you leave.
Yeah. So, I don't know if I want to do that.
We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
It'd be funny, it's like middle of the night, someone's ringing our broken doorbell, open it, and you're just there like...
Yeah.
Oh, what do we do?
We'll have to see because I know I'm allergic to some medications, but... And the effects are affected me like really bad. That was the worst medical reaction I've had to a medication, like out of the 5 I'm allergic to. And one almost made my throat close up.
Which isn't good.
Well, no, but I could still breathe, so it just felt like it was.
And it's good to hear that Dr. Thompson actually figured out what was wrong with you.
I love Dr. Thompson. He is if anyone is in the United States or in the area of Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana, and Alabama, so in a 6-state radius, if you have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, go to Dr. Thompson. He is absolutely amazing. People drive from out of state to come see him.
I believe it. I believe it.
There are probably maybe 20 doctors in the United States that recognize POTS.
And he's one of them.
He's one of them, but very few of the doctors actually have it.
He actually has it,
himself
too.
has postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, so he knows how the patients feel, and he is not above, like, my other doctors were like, well, you got to drink more water, do yoga, just do these things that aren't helping the fact that I'm exhausted all the time.
Right.
My sleep pattern's been flip-flopped and got shot to hell. The sleep doctor said I needed someone to come to my house, wake me up at 7 in the morning, and sit me outside. To someone who has light sensitivity in their eyes, because my pupils don't constrict as fast as normal pupils do, it's extremely painful. Like, I always have to wear, I'm wearing sunglasses outside, and it's overcast and looks like it's going to rain. I'm wearing sunglasses because it's too bright outside. It hurts, okay? So that's just a no-go. It's stupid. The doctor even said, Dr. Thompson was like, yeah, that's dumb. We're not doing that. We're going to put you on Ambien. Oh, right.
Okay.
But it kind of makes me worried, though, because when one of his patients was leaving, he was like, yeah, don't worry about paying the copay. And then when I left, he was like, yeah, you can just pay me whenever. And I was like, no, I'm going to pay you now, because if your business goes under, then I won't have you. So stop telling your patients not to pay you. It makes me worried. I love doctors who are like that, where it's like,
it's about the practice
it's
and
about
not
the patients, not about the money. But it makes me nervous because I'm like, those doctors might not be there in a very long time because they don't have any money. They're not financially equipped for it. So that makes me worried. I'm just like, oh God, no.
Yeah, we don't need him disappearing again.
I swear to God, if all I need to do is get on a steady medications, like figure out which medications work for me,
right?
And then if anything happens to him, I can go to my general practitioner and say, this is what I was on, this works, continue, give it to me now.
Gimme.
Because without the Mayo Clinic had no intention of treating me,
right?
And someone at my age is too young to have a heart rate literally double upon standing. It goes from a resting of 80 to 168 resting. A normal person's resting heart rate is between 50 and 60.
Yeah.
Mine's already 10 points higher resting. But for it to double upon standing,
so it's just an even spike.
It's not even, because 168's almost 90 points higher. So that's not normal. Normal people's heart rate maybe goes up 10 beats upon standing. It's because my body can't maintain homeostasis, which is the blood flow, because it pulls in my legs.
Right.
So
that's probably why
that's why people pass out when they stand.
That's probably why you were talking. You spoke to Jason, because I remember you saying you don't remember him. Amber's reaching under the door. And you saying you don't remember him, but you mentioned that your illnesses.
Yeah.
Because he's studying human anatomy.
Oh, that's possible.
And he was talking, like, the other day, just yesterday actually, when I was waiting for Tiffany to pick me up from work, he was there and we were talking. I was asking what he was studying about, and he was talking exactly that, about blood circulation. He was saying, like, that's why people get lightheaded if they stand up too quick, because their blood pools in a certain... And I was like, that's probably why she spoke to you.
My blood pools in my legs, but won't go back up to my brain.
It won't do it quick enough.
It won't do it fast enough. But since I've had it since I was a child, my heart rate it has adapted to compensate for that. So it increases drastically, which a healthy person's body doesn't do, because it doesn't need to do that. So, yeah.
And this is why you have pills.
Yes. I even have a pill specifically for the pooling in my legs. That's the one that if I get a headache, I'm supposed to stop taking it immediately because it's bad.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe it has something to do with aneurysms. I'm not sure.
Aneurysm, circulation, something.
Blood. It involves blood in the brain. I don't know. Interesting. Aneurysms are bad. Let's not do that. But because I have high blood pressure, it's a possibility that I can have a stroke or heart attack.
That's not good.
No, but he says that we might increase my clonidine, which is supposed to help with my heart rate. So maybe I won't have to be on a blood pressure medicine. Maybe he'll just increase that enough so that it affects my blood pressure. Oh, okay. Which would be cool, because it turns out I was allergic to the blood pressure medicine I was on for a year, giving me heart palpitations, which is not good.
And which is why you stopped it.
No, I stopped it because it made me too tired to function.
Oh, okay.
I missed so much school. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. That semester was the worst semester I've ever had, and I haven't even checked my grades from that semester yet.
That's how bad.
That's how afraid I am that I failed that semester.
Wow.
I don't know if I still have my scholarship.
Oh.
That's how bad it was.
And they wouldn't let you continue even though it was medical, like medicine.
No, I just they were fine with my absences being like, it happened like mid-semester. So I was supposed to go to the Mayo Clinic. Like, my doctor didn't stop working until I already started that semester. So it wasn't like I could go to the head of the deans and say, you know, like, this is what's going on. I should have dropped out. I should have dropped the classes and just paid Bright Futures the money.
Right.
I don't know if I still have my scholarship. I might. I'm not sure. I'll find out in September when I try to go back for another semester. If not, I'll take 2 classes here or there. It's really not that big of a deal, ultimately. But
let's just scoot in.
It's because I'm too afraid to... I think I'll be too disappointed in myself. Because I'm not used to doing bad in school. Like, I'm used to being, like, the top of my class. So, just the fact that I might not have made A's and everything, I am... Like, I have to maintain a 3.0 GPA to keep my scholarship.
That was a 3.5.
No, that's what I had to maintain in high school, which I did. I made like over a 4.0 because I took advanced placement classes and dual enrolled classes and stuff like that. But I had to maintain over a 3.0 to keep my scholarship. So that's A's and B's.
Yeah.
Or all A's and like 1 C. If I made too many C's, if I make 2 C's, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you have to check it eventually.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll figure out when I go and sign up for another semester.
You're just gonna wait until then. You just don't want to know right now.
Yeah. Well, because I figure that there's nothing I can do about it. So this is my own form of cognitive behavioral therapy. It's my own form of trying to fix my generalized anxiety disorder. There's nothing I can do about it because it's already happened.
Of course.
And I can't sign up for classes until September, so I'm just not going to think about it. And it's really, ultimately, it's not that big of a deal because, you know, yes, I'll lose out on a little bit of money, but Bright Futures was only paying $900.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were only paying, because the scholarship money shrinks because they give it out to too many people. So they were supposed to be paying 75% of all my tuition fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
900 doesn't even sound
No.
900 doesn't even sound like the tip of the iceberg
So
for
I'll be
what they're paying
missing out on some tuition fees, but other than that, it's really not that big of a deal, and it's probably better that I take a lighter course load to begin with, because POTS is really hard on people who like want to lead an active lifestyle, because we're just too tired all the time to do it. So it's probably best that I start light again and then work back up.
Right.
Because I was working 40
working
hours a week and going to school full time.
And wall climbing once a week.
Sometimes twice a week, but I would do it for 3 hours at a time. Like, even Dr. Thompson said that it was really unhealthy what I was doing, like going to work and then going to school and then he's like, you have no lifestyle. Like, that's not good for someone your age. I was like, what should I be doing? Partying or something? Is that what you're saying? No, that's not what he was saying. He just said, like, you know, it just wasn't good for a person to just go to work and go to school and then go home to go to bed.
You had to have something else?
Well, no, he's just like, I had too much on my plate, you know?
Okay.
It's like, I was trying to do so much, you know, because I would go to work for 8 hours and I'd go to school for 5, you know, 4 days a week.
It's more than half your day.
It's like I would wake up, go to school, and do that. But because of the Adderall, I could function on 16 hours actively. and then take my night pills and go to sleep. And that's my routine. That's what I would do. It was really not healthy in retrospect. So
in retrospect, it,
yeah.
Not healthy when that's what people normally do.
well,
Not when you're unhealthy.
Oh, that's the part that I missed.
yeah.
When your body doesn't function like a normal person, it's not good to try to be a normal person.
Like, yeah.
It. Ember's trying to reach the doorknob.
I think she thinks if she reaches in here far enough, she'll somehow squeeze herself in. She's literally trying to squeeze underneath the front door. I mean, underneath the door. Yeah.
If you watch long enough, you'll see her trying to stick her nose under.
She's like, damn it, let me in. But it's just, yeah. If I didn't pass that semester, oh well, I retake the classes and
Get your scholarship back.
You can technically do that. They do have like a forgiveness semester where you can retake the class and it doesn't do anything. There's one class I probably wouldn't retake because it was boring. God, I should never have. I don't like American history, but I have to take it
Because you're a history major.
because I'm a history major. So, but I hated it, and it was a night class. I'm just not going to take night classes.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I hate early morning classes.
Especially
I
if
hate
you're
night
going to try to get
classes.
back into a sleep routine.
Well, the classes start at 5:30 and end at 8:30. So, but it's 3 hours
still,
of
yeah.
torture. No, I'll probably take classes between the hours of like 12 and 4. Like that's
Sounds
that's
reasonable.
like the most active time period for me when I was on my pills was between 12 and 4. Because if a POTS patient wakes up too early, we're really sick. Remember when I came over the day we went to Fort Walton and I wasn't feeling well?
Yeah.
It's because I didn't get enough sleep. It's because I was working on 3 hours of sleep and I woke up too early and I feel really lightheaded and dizzy and I'd had problems breathing and
You wanted comics that badly.
well, it's not just that. It's I hate when people cancel on me for things, so I try really hard not to cancel on other people.
Me and Mike would have totally understood.
I know, but I don't want to like use my illness as a crutch, to say, I don't feel
It's
well.
not a crutch.
It is a crutch.
It is
It
not.
is such a crutch.
If you use it all the time, it's a crutch. If you use it when you're really not feeling good, that's not a crutch. That's just being honest.
You
I'm
have not called.
I don't like to play the sick card. I really don't. Like, if I had cancer or something, I wouldn't play the cancer card. I wouldn't. I would just, Although somehow I think that I'm not saying that cancer's a good thing, okay? Because my grandfather had cancer.
We
so.
do not condone cancer here.
Well, no, I think it's sometimes easier for people who have, like, a quote-unquote terminal illness or something that can be either fixed or you're dead.
Right.
It's something like that. Versus as someone who just has a degenerative disorder, whereas all you can look forward to is getting worse. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
Like when I hit menopause, that is when things will go downhill really quick.
Oh, that's not good.
So, I mean, it's something to look forward to. No, so that's why I kind of envy people who have like cancer and stuff. And I know that's really bad. I know it's awful to say that, but I do. It's because they can either get better. Granted, it sucks doing that because chemotherapy.
But they have the option to get
They have the option to either get better or they can die. But I don't know. I guess I'm not. My belief system leads me to not be afraid of dying. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I guess prepared. Like none of my affairs are in order or anything like that. But mentally, I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah.
So, but that's only because I believe in reincarnation. So I'll just come back. You can't get rid of me. I don't believe in like heaven or hell. So it's like when I die, it's not like I'm leaving. Really, I just come back as something else.
You're just giving back this physical form.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah, and so I'm not afraid of it. I've really never been afraid of it, but I've believed this for like a really long time. So
I hear you.
We made Ember sad.
So.
She's crying for you.
I'll only let her back in if she doesn't chew on any of my goddamn cables.
Well, I was mainly concerned when she kept trying to get in the closet.
Well, close the closet door.
See, I didn't even think about that.
That reminds me, it was a Facebook status. No, not a status. It was a person's profile that I saw. He listed his religion as atheist, but then his political views was only God can judge me. So I'm just like,
that doesn't work.
You gotta. It's one or the other, buddy.
Yeah.
Well,
One of
unless
my
he's trying to say that he doesn't believe in God, basically nobody can judge him. And then he probably should have done that a little bit better.
one of my friends said something hilarious. He was like, you know how during an exorcism, Catholics, you know, they have the Bible and they hold the Bible up. He's like, you don't see atheists holding up the origins of species, which is by Darwin, which is evolution, holding up and saying.
Yeah, but why would an atheist need to be exercised if he doesn't believe in?
Well, no, he was, playing on how
they
Christians hold up Bibles.
Yeah.
They'll do the Bible thing. Well, you don't see atheists holding up the origins of species.
And you don't see atheists standing on street corners yelling about it either.
Every time I walk out of the opera, there's someone there. Granted, it's on a Friday night, and that's when the clubs are going. But he's always standing on the street corner right after the Sanger Theater, and he's always yelling, like, you're gonna go to hell and all that stuff. I'm like, that's so rude. I'm sure that he thinks that we were all clubbing, with the 80-year-olds.
Oh yeah, of course.
It must be a sex house or something.
I think I don't know. I always hate it when people yell. Like, I don't like people talking about religion or stuff like that, but I always hate it when people yell at me about it. I'm just like, dude, it's not gonna make me listen if you yell at me. I'm not gonna listen any better. I'm just gonna ignore you more.
If you approach me like a civilized human being, maybe I'd listen.
Not even them. My grandmother, my Gammy, who died, she was driving with Bev, and she must have been in a really bad mood because they were standing on a street corner yelling, and she flashed them. Yep.
My hands in the air for that. That is awesome.
All hail my mighty grandmother. She's badass, okay? She flashed them.
Well, that's better than one of my other friends. Like, she pulled up to a red light, and there was a guy standing there, and then he immediately directed it towards her, like in her general direction, and her window was completely rolled down. She was holding a cigarette at the time, so as the light turned green, she just flicked her cigarette at him. And then he stopped and started swatting at it, and she's like, I made you shut up. And
yeah.
I was like, what? Well, I guess he was sort of right. What? You're going to hell. If it exists. Yeah, I guess that you are. It brings me back to what George Carlin said, keep thy religion to thyself. Should have been the 10th commandment.
It's people, that's something, war would not exist if people would just not talk about politics or religion.
Thank you.
If we would just shut up about everything concerning politics and religion, we would be so much happier. And if we were all on some form of antidepressant.
I think we need to create a cat muzzle for her.
Or maybe had a therapist.
Yeah.
I think people would be so much happier if they... Because I just felt
They just need
better.
somebody to talk to.
Bev says that people should be born with therapists. Well, it's kind of true because I felt so much better talking to Dr. Thompson because he made me feel like I wasn't crazy. Because I saw 12 doctors at the Mayo Clinic, and they all just kind of brushed it off and dismissed it. And I'm like, dude.
And Thompson's just like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, and Dr. Thompson kind of understands because he has it, so he knows it's not. He
knows what you're going through, right?
Yeah, he knows I'm not making it up, or that I'm not people who have fibromyalgia before it was diagnosable, they thought that they were just making it up.
Really?
Yeah, because there was no you can't it's not a physical test that you can do
to discern it.
Well, the physical test that they do to diagnose POTS is a tilt table test, and they won't really consider you having POTS if you don't pass out, and only 40% of POTS patients actually faint.
Huh.
So that leaves 60%, I'm included in that 60%, that don't pass out.
Wow.
So
you're either either or on the extreme side, you either pass out or you're like extremely awake and you should have passed out.
They have a scale, and they marked me as a 1, and a 0 is normal, a 1, and then they go to 10, and that's a severe. I suppose a 10 is when you pass out. But if you look at the actual stats, he was like, that's that's bullshit. Because, well, he looked at it, and he was like, how can they look at this and see someone's heart rate go from resting at 80 to standing, well, not standing, being tilted at a 75-degree angle for 10 minutes and it being 168? It's not even, all they did was alter my body. I didn't stand up.
Just tilt you.
They moved the table to a 75-degree angle, and that's my heart rate jumped that high.
And they classify you as a 1?
They classify me as a 1, and everything that, like, my blood pressure got low enough to where I should have passed out, but my heart rate was going so fast that it was compensating for it.
So that's what it's doing.
My body has figured out how to function on its own without medication. It's hell. It's really difficult to get up and do stuff. But
There is no jumping and running for you.
No. I'm really clumsy anyway. I'd probably fall.
I thinking about it, it's fortunate enough that you even came out to do the wall climbing with us. I think about it now, it even astounds me how it got to a point where it's like we'd show up and it wouldn't be just about, okay, here hey, cable.
It wouldn't what?
Or how we would show up and you would just be like, I'm going to climb that wall and I'm going to climb that wall. It wasn't like, I'm going to try this one and see how high. No, it's like you would literally get up to the top of this one, get up to the top of this one, and then get tired.
Yeah.
So it does astound me at this point where thinking about what you're going through and the fact that you did all of that, despite the fact.
Well, I don't, sick card stupid. So, well, the worst thing that could happen is, yes, I could have a heart attack. And yes, I could have a stroke. Neither of which necessarily would kill me. So, maybe if I had a massive heart attack or something.
It's okay. We'd have mats down for it. So.
Well, I mean, no, because someone would belay, so they would catch me as soon as I passed out. So it really is not good for me to rock. It's not good for me to exert any physical energy to that extreme, my Dr. Thompson says, yes, yoga would be good because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is EDS, which I don't have a lot of elasticity in my skin, and it makes the muscles really loose and stuff. Like my skin stretches, and most people say that that's because it's too much elastic. That's not true. There's not enough elastic for it to hold. So they have issues with women's uterus rupturing and stuff like that. So they had to do an ultrasound of my aorta, which is the vein, in your heart that goes all the way through, to make sure that that wasn't going to rupture, which it was fine. But yoga helps strengthen the muscles, and so if you stay toned, your body is less likely to do something stupid. It's basically... Contortionists is the best way I can explain the extreme of Ehlers-Danlos.
Wow.
I have, it's mild, but I can bend ways that people probably shouldn't. Yeah, like that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I can, how I stand, how I, my knees.
Buckle, like almost.
They bend backwards almost.
Like this.
I stand really weird, and my arm, this is not normal. It goes 10 degrees back farther than it should.
Right.
If I extend my arm out. And when I stand, my knees go back about 40 degrees farther than they should. So it's just something I live with. So it never bothered me before. Like, my ankles will roll.
Yeah.
And when I was little,
I would notice really like when you would just, if you're standing still for too long, you'd be bending your feet back a lot and your knees.
If I stand still for long periods of time, I get dizzy. So I gotta shift around a little bit, and I can fall over sometimes. So
That's really weird because I do everything you just described. I bend my knees backwards like that. Everything.
but when I was younger, my ankles rolling would really bother. I'd be walking, just walking, all of a sudden my ankle would roll and I would fall. It hurt like hell.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
And yeah, now I don't do it as much. I'll do it very rarely, but it hurts worse because the tendons and stuff are older, you know.
Right.
But the doctors that my parents took me to a leg doctor when I was younger, and they said that she'd just grow out of it. But my pelvis is crooked, so there's nothing you can.
God damn it!
They would have to break my leg. It's because in the womb, I was too long, so my feet curved in they curved in on themselves.
No way.
So it misshaped my entire lower half of my body. So my
they have
knees
to break your legs.
My
to
knees
fix
are
it.
pigeon-kneed.
So it's
But my toes point out. Yeah,
So basically, you do this.
basically. It's like a flamingo almost.
frog legs.
Yep. And the only way that they can fix it is to break my legs, and I prefer not to be in a wheelchair. Come on, Amber.
out bit it.
Amber.
And now they're wrestling with her to get it out.
There we go. But I don't want to have my legs broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that either.
They should have. My dad had to have his legs broken when he was little, and they still have his little casts in my grandparents' attic. But if they were going to break my legs, they should have done it before I learned how to walk.
Yeah, before you start developing normally.
Because now it would be too difficult and painful, and no.
Make it
I'll just live with it. I would just rather just live with it. Like with most of the stuff that I do, since you can't fix it, I just want to, live with it as best I can.
Yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, and most people could say, well, why don't you just deal with it off the medication? If I did that, I wouldn't leave the house ever.
Yeah.
Because that's how well, when I'm awake, I'm awake during the night hours. As soon as it gets dark, I wake up. But I sleep almost 18 hours a day.
Which is a lot. And then you have sleep, and then you have weird sleeping hours anyways. Like you go to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning.
I'll go, yeah, now I do. Before it was really bad to where, a couple years ago I was sleeping 18 hours a day, and I would wake up, go to class, go back to sleep after I got back. So I was only awake for 4 hours out of the day. I would just sleep the rest of it.
Wow.
It was really bad, and I would just go home and go to sleep. I wouldn't take any medicine or anything. I would just go home and
go to sleep.
Go to bed. I was tired. I'd go to bed. And that's how they first figured it out. I went in because my neck hurt one day. The neck pain.
Yeah.
The excruciating neck pain.
Yeah, and that's how my doctor was like, I think you have POTS. We're gonna get you to go do a tilt table test and
go see this other guy.
Yeah, well, it took me a while to even get in to see Dr. Thompson because he wasn't accepting patients. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why wasn't he?
I think his patient book was too full, or he wasn't feeling well or something. But he stops practicing and comes back frequently. Like he does it frequently. But my general practitioner is great. She's pretty awesome. She was the one who first diagnosed me with POTS. She's like, I think you have this.
You should go see this guy. So
we're going to go figure out what it is. And so I was like, okay. And she's not comfortable giving me the medicine that he is.
Uh-huh.
Probably because a person who doesn't have ADD, it looks bad when a doctor
when you get all these, yeah.
So granted, if Dr. Thompson stopped working, she probably would give me the medicine that he gave me. Probably, I hope so. That'd be nice. But she wouldn't prescribe me it.
Immediately.
No, she prescribed me a blood pressure medicine, but other than that,
no Adderall, no sleep.
No.
So you wouldn't have your list of uppers and downers.
No, it's because I'm too young for most doctors to even think about it. And because POTS isn't widely known, most doctors would just say, you're making it up.
It's something else. Or
it's like, yeah, you're making it up so you can go and sell this on the street. And I'm like, no, I want to take it.
No. Why would I want to sell it? I want it.
I want to take it. But That's just, how doctors are. And I guess that makes sense because they have, their doctor's license and everything to think about. And
they don't want to lose that
Yeah.
just because one person is made a mistake or something.
yeah, and a lot of doctors don't even believe the condition exists. So, and I guess I can see because there's no evidence to prove that this condition
Is real or not.
is real because they can't identify the gene that causes it, and it's kind of and similar to fibromyalgia, they can't prove it,
Right.
but they have all these people who are ill. But they can't they can't run a blood test or something that says you have this.
Right.
It's not like with cancer where you can run your white blood cells, and see
I hear you.
it, or AIDS or something where they do blood tests. You can't tell. So you just gotta roll with the punches, man.
Which is what you've been doing until you've. So wait, so if you've been rolling with the punches, taking these pills is like putting on brass knuckles?
Kinda. I love with the medication. I can do so much more. I can actually have what I would imagine would be a normal life.
A normal lifestyle.
Yeah, I can. I will never be able to be super athletic because I'm really clumsy, so that just wouldn't work. But
I'm not diagnosed with any of that stuff, but I'm not super athletic, so
I'm physically incapable of being athletic. My body would probably,
well, unless you count my bum knee.
I would probably end up having some sort of malfunction with my heart if I exerted so much
We don't want that.
energy like
So
that.
much so.
I don't think I've never been a very good runner, so I would probably end up somewhere probably close to a heart attack would probably happen. That's the only thing I could really think of that or my lungs would give out, which is possible.
All of which we don't want.
Yeah.
Everything on that list would just, kind of be bad. So we don't
Yeah.
want that to happen.
Just a little.
And it's all good that when your organs start to go, it's kind of easy to tell. Well, because now, if your kidneys start to fail,
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to spot now.
Yeah,
So-
that's
So, and all of that's possible. I'm only saying that because the autonomic nervous system does everything that your brain, doesn't tell your body to do. So the organs are one of them. So, yeah. Yay!
scary thought. But okay. Gosh. Well, at least you'll be feeling better
Oh, yeah.
soon,
I'll be
which is
feeling
good.
so much better. Probably next week I'll be, at least 30% better than what I am. So.
Which I think how you have been lately, well, not lately, but just last couple months that you've been off of them hasn't been bad.
It hasn't been the worst that I've experienced, so some days are better than others, but that's to be expected. But before I was on any of the medication, before I was seeing Dr. Thompson, was the worst that I've ever had. I hope I don't have to go back to that, because sleeping 18 hours a day, yeah, it seems like it's not that big of a deal, but really it kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I can understand.
yeah, it's not fun, and I don't think I can put into words exactly how POTS patients feel. It just feels, I guess you don't feel, I don't even know. I can't explain it. It's just, you'd have to have it in order to understand.
Science.
Damn it.
Genetics.
Yeah, for real, that's how I got everything that I have is genetic.
Yep.
So,
You're a mutant.
my parents.
You're a mutant.
Well, it's mostly my mother's fault, really. Some of the stuff I got from my father, but not a lot. It's normally it's from my mommy's side. And I feel bad for her, but really, the doctors told her before she couldn't have kids. They were like, you can't get pregnant. It's impossible. And then,
Then
she
you
got
popped
pregnant
out.
twice.
Oh yeah, your brother.
Yeah, I have
Yep.
a brother. She got pregnant twice, and I really think that she should have listened to the doctors the first time. Only because, there wouldn't be, a me to go through it, so.
Yeah, but then if there wasn't a you, I would be doing all of this.
I know,
so.
people say that, but I think it would be better if she just didn't have children.
I can understand where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
Like, I don't think I'd be able to forgive myself if I had a kid. Like, it would just, I would have to go on an antidepressant because I would be so depressed.
Adopt.
I don't want to adopt, though. Like, that's the thing. It's not just the fact that, yeah, genetics sucks. It's the fact that I can't take care. I can't physically keep up with a child.
Yeah.
If she adopted, she'd have to have like a self-sufficient teenager. And even then, when you adopt a self-sufficient teenager, a lot of them.
That's not really adopting.
Steven wants it.
He wants to go through the whole baby and
Steven wants a baby.
raising somebody. Yeah.
And I can't. And he says he's going to keep arguing with me till I'm like 30. I'm like, dude, it's not going to happen.
Okay,
If he
unless
keeps
you're
arguing
an adult,
until you're
no.
30, by the time you are 30, there's no going back anyways.
Well, yeah, because I even told him that. I was like, yeah, because 30, once you're 30, like the chances of the child having like Down syndrome goes up to like 30% higher. And once you're 35, it goes up to 50. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening.
So there's a 1 in 2 chance.
It's like, I'm not having, a kid. I'm just not. You have to go through like all of these tests, like they have to stick the needle into the placenta fluids, and test it to make sure he doesn't have Downs and stuff.
Oh.
They
Yeah.
do a specific blood test.
Yeah, fuck
and then
that.
If they find something wrong with that, then they go in and do this really giant needle. Almost had to do it. Was not fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No,
Fuck
thank you.
that.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
It's almost like getting the rabies shot.
Like, seriously, the best time for you to have kids is in your early 20s. Like, that for the woman to bounce back properly. And the guys can say, well,
Guys can have kids. Guys can provide
Yeah,
their part of it.
anytime they can do that. But
No problem.
But see, guys will say that it doesn't matter, like, when they have kids, but they know that in their brain, like, back there, they don't want their wife to look ugly, like how she didn't look, well, not ugly, but you know how women don't look exactly the same after they have kids?
Yeah.
They look so much better if they have it when they're younger. Like,
Because
their
they can
body
come back-
bounces
they can
back.
come-
Yeah,
yeah.
the skin's more elastic. They're able to lose the weight easier. They'll look more like they did before they got pregnant, and guys like that, obviously, for obvious reasons.
MILF.
Well, well, it's just easier to get the form back
Yeah.
if you have them early. But
You can have a family and still have the hot wife.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You still want your wife to be hot, or girlfriend, or whatever you have children with. I don't know. I'm not saying you have to be married to have kids, so.
Yeah.
But Steven really wants one, and I'm just like, fuck you, that's not gonna happen. So,
He can just keep arguing. That's
he can.
that's the most-
I told him, I was like, yeah, you can keep having this conversation, but in my mind, it's closed.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're talking to a brick wall.
it's not happening. So,
That book's been closed for a long time.
yeah.
So there's no way he's gonna be able to reopen it.
Yeah.
It was never open to begin with.
There.
Like, I struggle with the fact, like, if I did get pregnant by accident, I don't know if I would go and get it aborted or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have to really think about it.
To nip it in the bud.
Yeah, I'd have to really think about it.
You have to catch it super early and then you give yourself that window of time.
Because I don't know, because I would feel terrible doing that. But I would have to weigh the options of the child, like being.
Well, if anything, just from the way I see it, it's more or less like benefiting. Well, for the good of the child.
It would really
in the long
upset
run.
Steven if that happened. So
I
I
know.
probably would end up not even telling him. Well, I would have to run the stats on it to see how like our genetics, like our genes. I would have to run it to see the possible outcome of it being like me.
Right.
Like, I'd have to go and talk to some geneticists or
Scientist.
something. I would have to talk to Dr. Thompson and see, like, because he has 2 girls, and one of them has POTS.
The other one's
One
okay.
of them's okay, but one of them's just like him.
So it's like so far it sounds like a 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that's just
It's like who gets them most of the
Yeah.
genes. It's either going to be yours or it's going to be Steven's.
yeah.
So you'd want it to be Steven's.
But it's kind of
And
like
you have a mochaccino kid, so
but it's kind of like the fact, like, you get pregnant and you find out your kid has Downs,
right.
but you're still early enough to abort it. What do you do?
They
It's
actually
kind of like
make
that. If you
decision.
know that you're going to have a child that will be sick for the rest of its life and never get better, would you still have it? If you were already pregnant.
They actually give you that choice depending on whatever your child is born with. Whenever they did the test for my son,
Mm-hmm.
when they found out he had the cleft palate and lip, it could have been a really bad syndrome that he wasn't supposed to live through the first year. And they're like, okay, we haven't found out yet. We need to do a blood test. They did the blood test and it came out fine. But depending on the options of this, your kid could only live for a year. You need to sit down and talk to your child's father, depending on what the child has. And they say it's rare.
Just off a cleft palate?
Mm-hmm.
Because it affects the eating and stuff.
Cleft lip and palate. They said because it could have been a deadly syndrome.
Wow, so much to go through.
Did she
So
seriously?
it's really like, I don't know. It would be something to think about, but I really am like banking on the fact that I'm not even gonna get pregnant. So we're just gonna hope with that one that
Invest in contraceptives.
that I don't get pregnant to begin with, because that would be a really difficult.
Well, then I guess it helps that Steven's
decision.
overseas.
It does.
You can't get pregnant if you don't have sex. But then there's the part where you don't have sex.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I hate it. Like when I went to the Mayo Clinic, they would check to see if I was pregnant. I'm like, I'm not pregnant. And when I had my boobs done, they had to check to see if I was pregnant. I'm like,
Why?
I'm not pregnant. Well, I guess like,
It's
you know, the women aren't, you know, always faithful and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I wouldn't be so frustrated.
Maybe you
if I
should
was
carry.
getting
Maybe you
laid.
should carry around a picture of his. You know what? Just be like,
It's like, this is what I have to
yeah,
look
this is
forward
what
to.
I'm looking forward to. This is what I deal with. Why would I
Yeah.
give this up? And they'll be like, okay, yeah, she's totally not pregnant.
But I guess it's mandatory when you go in for surgery, because the anesthesia could
Of
affect
course.
the
even though if the
pregnancy.
doctor was your best friend, could take your word for it, it's still
Yeah.
part of the.
even if the doctor was my
It's-
husband.
Yeah, we have to check if you're pregnant. And in the background, it's like, we really don't, but I want to know.
I've been trying. I've been poking holes in all those condoms for so many months.
That just reminds me of that meme. That the guy's like, I already told you guys this. The guy, like, he's finished and he's going to go throw the condom away. And he's like, it would be such a funny prank if I filled this thing with water, tied it up, and just chucked it at her. So he does it. He takes the used condom, puts it under the sink, fills it with water, ties it off, holds it in front of him, and he laughs. And all of a sudden, he looks on the other side, and there's this little spurt of water coming out. And it's like,
That's not funny.
fuck.
See, that's how you test and see if your condom actually broke or not.
I totally wouldn't put it past Steven. He wants a kid really badly, and I'm just like, you married the wrong person. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that'd be just a bit too mean. Like, I can understand somebody wanting a kid really bad, but I don't see justifying, like, intentionally poking holes in condoms or saying you're taking birth control when you're not, shit like that. That's just
The people that do that are really messed up in the head. They have to be.
very, because they're thinking extremely selfishly. They're not thinking of the child, the relationship, or the fact that of raising a kid. There's so many people out there that's like, oh, it'd be so cool to have a kid.
I know somebody.
Having a kid doesn't make you cool. It makes you a mom.
I know somebody.
Makes you boring.
I know somebody that she said that as soon as she turned 19, she was going to get pregnant with this guy that she had never met in person, was having an internet relationship with. Like, I don't personally mind internet relationships, but you're planning on getting pregnant with this person, and you kind of met him in person. But she's like, you had a kid and you were fine. I was like, yeah, my kid had a birth defect. You think that was easy? And she's like, I'm going to do it. I don't care.
See, a lot of people just don't
And
understand.
she didn't care. She had baby envy. It's something that a lot of my friends apparently got when I was pregnant. Baby envy. And she's like, I just want kids so bad. They're so cute and they're so sweet. You're not thinking the aspect of it. Oh, hey, they get sick. They're loud.
Only best friends have kids together.
I don't even like children, so
You're right off the bat.
yeah. Right off
Let's
the bat,
start
I don't
there.
even like
I
kids.
don't like kids, so.
So
I only like kids when they're well behaved.
I just don't like them at all.
Working where I work with the kid, there's a lot of kids that come in there, and it's just like the second they come in, it's like, oh, they're cool. These are really cool kids. They're coming in to read. I'd hate working at a game store because I'm like, these kids are gonna grow up and just like be military brats.
You know, the
or...
average gamer is 37. The average age.
Really? That's the new stat
It's
now?
37.
That is awesome.
It's
I'm heading
awesome in
there.
a way, but then it's sad in another. It's like you're 37 and, you know, you're
Gaming.
all you can think of is like all
Well,
I can
that's
think of
hardcore.
when I think of hardcore like gaming, I think of like them just sitting there drinking Mountain Dew and eating Doritos.
Well, see,
for,
that's
like,
not what I
hours.
think. I just think, as far as, to me, a gamer is just somebody who enjoys the aspect of video games, and not somebody that's like, that's just a big waste of time.
I'm sorry, every time I think of a
Yeah,
video gamer, I think of the person on WoW who's like just sitting there and he's like chubby. He's got all
No,
his
I have a
food stuff.
I consider people like that. Like, I consider that, I define them by the game that they play a lot. So if, in that aspect, like, that's a WoW gamer.
But I want to play WoW.
Okay,
Are you gonna be a WoW
gamer?
gamer or just gonna be a casual gamer?
I don't know.
See,
I
I'm not
don't know
a
how fun it is yet.
I'm not a hardcore gamer by any means. I love video games, and I will sit down for hours on end and play one, but it doesn't stop me from having to go to work and do responsibilities and things like that. There's a difference to me. So because I know I'm gonna be like 50 and still be trying to play the latest video games. I don't care. Like, I'll be up at damn arthritis.
Damn it!
I can't. I'm not as fast as I used to be at this.
Honey, can you bring me my arthritis med? Yes, what are you doing? Playing video games again?
Emphasis on try. I'll be trying to play the latest games, but yeah,
It'll
I'll
be all with your eyes when you get to there.
Oh god, when it gets to that point, I'll be like, I miss controllers.
They have those games now.
What the?
With eyes, you can direct. Oh, it's like the prototype's asteroid, you know, where you look at the asteroid and it directs the laser and fires.
That is
It's
awesome.
all eye. It's all eye controlled. Yeah,
What the hell?
they do it with TVs and stuff.
You have a head mount? No, it's just recording your eye movement.
eyes.
That is cool.
That's kind of like
I
the
was
pet
contemplating.
game.
Do what?
It's kind of like the pet game you were telling me about.
Oh yeah, the iPad.
It's-
Well, you still need a controller to play with him and the camera, but still, it's similar. It was actually because I was reading up on, brainwaves and things like that, toys that use your brainwaves to help deal with, and they're using it to help with people who have ADD and things like that because it helps you concentrate. When it first came out, I don't know if you saw it, the Star Wars Science Force Trainer.
Oh yeah.
When it first came out, all it is there's a fan in this tube and there's a ping pong ball on the inside, and you put a head mount on, and it goes to 3 points that record brainwave activity. So the more you concentrate, the more this fan will spin. So then you're literally, by concentrating, making this ball levitate in this tube up and down. When it first came out, it was $130. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not spending $130 for that. It's actually dropped down to only like $20, $30.
Oh, wow.
And I'm seriously considering getting one.
Yeah.
There's a show on College Humor called Bleep Bloop, and they did a review on it, and they're just like, can you imagine kids back in like the 60s or 70s that had to go outside and play with wooden trucks and go outside and play with sticks, and it's like, oh, now we have toys that use your brain, but then at the same time it's kind of counterproductive because you get to go outside with those toys. With this one, you just sit and concentrate on a ball. But I think the aspect of it concentrating, it's a good mental exercise.
It is
the way I
good.
think. That's why I'm considering getting it. I don't mind dropping $30 on something like that. If it was over 100, I'd say like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'll get something else.
It's a tube with a ping pong ball.
Exactly.
Oh.
Actually, they have more sophisticated ones now.
Yeah, I've seen those where you can make it go through hoops and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like an obstacle
Yeah.
course. You have to
They
make it
sell
go
them
up
at
and
Walmart.
down and what?
They sell them at Walmart.
Yeah.
And every time I've tried to do it, it never works.
Well, they have to be calibrated. That's one thing that because I was reading up on it to see how it actually worked, if it really checked your brainwaves or if it was something that was like preset. And there was a lot on Amazon actually. There's a lot of comments, people saying like it would do the exact same pattern or something, or it wouldn't work at all. And then they were giving it like 2, 3, 1 stars. And then there's one that gave it 5 stars, and he's like, I'm an actual neurologist and I study this, and we actually use brainwave activities like this to help patients. And it has to be calibrated a certain way. You have to calibrate it right before you can even start playing with it. Otherwise, it won't work at all. So, yeah. So it really, really works. It's just a matter of getting it to work properly during the calibration. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get that in the next paycheck, in all honesty.
You're silly.
And it'd be cool.
It's gonna be
And
funny. I'm gonna be sitting here watching him just stare at a little ping pong ball.
and
a little
well, I
kid,
couldn't beat the fact that it lights up and it has R2D2
It lights
sound
up and
effects.
spins. Oh God.
And it's Star Wars.
Kinda like a girl.
Oh God. It lights up and spins. It's amazing.
Best thing ever.
There was one thing I did want to Well, hang on, before I even get into it, you haven't read The Hunger Games.
No.
You haven't read The Hunger
Not
Games.
even
I'm
gonna.
giving the chance every time I went to. It was always checked out.
And I haven't read it. I've been trying to read it. And the only reason I mention it is because The Hunger Games comes out tomorrow. I didn't want to make a topic of that. The reason I bring it up is because there's another sort of version, I guess, of it that's been out for the longest time, called Battle Royale. Have you heard of it? No. I forget if it's Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's Japanese, or it could be Korean, because I was looking at the DVD box, and the guy that plays, it looks, I don't know if it's the same person, but it looks like the guy that plays God, what's his name from Death Note? Not L.
White?
Yeah. The kid that played him in the live action movie is in it. And it's the same premise, but instead of 24, it's 42, and it's a school. And I haven't read too much into it. I looked at the DVD because we actually have it at the store, and I really want to get it because it's 1 and 2. Apparently there's 2 of these movies, and they have collars on their necks. It's literally just a battle to the death between these students for their government or whatever.
See, the concept of the Hunger Games is a fairly old concept. Like, they've been doing it since like the 1960s, like in books and stuff, so I'm not really impressed with it.
Okay, what is the concept of it? I haven't even got that far.
Okay. Do you want to explain it?
You can.
From what I gather, hang on, where are we? Okay. Whoa. Is that seconds? Or okay, those are seconds. Never mind.
What did it say?
No, I thought we were at like a minute, an hour and 30. We're really just an hour and 30 seconds.
Oh.
Okay. The basic premise is there's all these different districts, and there's kids living there, and this isn't the complete gist because granted I haven't read the books. It's just what I get off the synopsis and what people have told me. And then every 100 days, each district picks one male and one female between the ages of 13 and 19 to represent the district. They get sent off to the capital, where they're trained for another 2 months in combat and just become a good athlete, and they represent their district in the Hunger Games, where it's literally a 24 and 24 one-on-one, 24 of them all against each other to the death until one person's left. And then
It's a fight to the death.
Yeah, but it's not like a battle sort of thing. They're released in this wilderness
And you're
area.
supposed to grab a bag.
It's like survival.
Yeah, it's survival. And the reason that they go to the capital as well is they get all prettied up and everything, and they're presented to all these rich people in the capital, and then they choose which one of the volunteers or tributes they sponsor. So then when they sponsor you, that means when you're out there, they will send you food or supplies or things like that. So the more...
If you don't get sponsored, you're fucked.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like a government-sponsored sacrifice.
Yeah.
And that even goes back to like mythological times where you sacrifice, a pretty virgin, to the gods to appease them. Except this is for entertainment. It's like the Colosseum.
Yeah.
So
Exactly
it's an old concept.
It's the concept is very, very old. Just that
I find it boring.
They play on the fact that it's like, oh hey, Harry Potter was very popular because it's kids. Twilight became popular because it's teens. Even though, granted, Edward was like 100.
He was 109.
109 years old, so technically that doesn't count. And then now it's the Hunger Games, and it's just teens. It's just they're just building this concept that's always been around, including vampires, wizardry, a concept that's been all the way that's been around forever. Just they're gearing it towards a very specific generation that is, want to grow up and be like Michael. I'm a wizard.
J.K. Rowling is coming out with another addition to the Harry Potter series.
God damn it! Would you stop?
Just saying. No. It's like I'm assuming that it's like a kind of more like an extension of the epilogue that she did in the 7th book. Harry's life or something. Something
I gotcha.
like that. And that would be kind of cool. Just saying. I like Harry Potter. I like the books.
I don't know. I just sort of grew
read,
out of it.
I can read the books in a day. Not all of them.
Just like one of the...
I can read like the 600-page
huge.
book in a day. Well,
depending on if you give me the time and if I want to read, I can read 2 of the smaller ones and 1 of the bigger ones. And like I wouldn't mind seeing another Harry Potter.
See, I have a problem when as far as reading goes, because I do enjoy it. Just sometimes I have a problem with concentrating, or sometimes where I would just read a page. Like I find I can read fairly fast, but what happens is I don't comprehend it. So it's like I read everything and I get to the bottom of it and I have no idea what I just read.
I have that problem.
I read a 500-page book last night, so
What did you read?
just some novel that I had on my Nook PC. Just picked up a free book and I read it last night.
Wow.
I was bored. It was like, what I was.
Do you remember what it was about?
No, it wasn't very good. It was I just started reading at like 10 o'clock because that's when I woke up from my nap and kept going till I went to sleep, which was about 5. I was like, I was
I feel
bored.
bad.
That's
Somebody
pretty
wrote-
fast.
A friend of mine typed out this long series of books, and I'm actually one of the characters in it, and I cannot read it.
It wasn't
It's
very.
so bad. He needs somebody to edit it. Like, it's a really good storyline if he could like get it to make sense in writing. But I would sit there and try and read it, and it's like I know what he's trying to say, but the fact that he's not saying it right really irritates me, and it's just horrible.
That's why
I'm
people
sorry,
invented
sweetheart,
editors.
Yeah.
Your writing sucks.
Like the Kevin Smith book I just got. I sat down with it for like literally I sat down with it for like an hour and I only got to like page 20, 30 something. And it's just because it's a good book that I wanted to read and I really wanted to comprehend what I was reading. So I took my time with it. But it's like if someone tells me here read this book, I'll read it and then be like I have no idea what I just read, but I just finished reading it.
Well, it depends what it is. Like nonfiction books, like I'll take my time because especially if I have to write a paper on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sometimes I'll speed read it and mark pages as I go as I find points.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's fiction books, most of the time that's just dialogue. And in my, you know how your brain reads faster than you actually read it. You know, that's why speed reading has become like such a thing because you can actually speed read and understand what you're reading. But in dialogue scenes, I won't even finish like the sentences.
And you'll know what
I'll know who's speaking it, but I won't finish like I'll finish the dialogue scene, but as soon as they go on to like, you know,
She said.
yeah, like someone said and like did something else, I just won't even bother because I'll just figure it out as I read the dialogue. So
I actually
that makes sense.
I speed read normally, kind of, but whenever I'm reading out loud, like people actually have to keep telling me to slow down. That's why I really never read a lot in English class. Because I'd read it and I'd be like, okay, and everybody else would be like, I have no idea what she just said.
See, I don't read a lot of stories as far as books go. Like, if I'm going to read anything like that, it's going to be a graphic novel. Because it helps.
yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry. I read
but-
2 of those in 30 minutes.
Yeah, see, yeah, like, there's a thick graphic novel I have over there called Blankets. I recommend either of you borrowing it if you want to read it. It is kind of sappy, but it's, I don't know, the illustrator and the person who made it, Craig Thompson's actually very, very good. Yeah, something like that. That took me a night to finish reading, and I was very surprised because I was like, "Oh, it's really thick." But then again, it's like it's not all words. There's a lot of pages where there's literally only 3 words on it, and it's just the imagery that he uses.
I'm sorry,
But
that
then
makes me think
of-
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, just the way it's like.
But when it comes to actual books that I will read all the way through are like autobiographies or books about people that I enjoy. Hence the Kevin Smith book. I haven't really read a lot of stories, but I read the first Harry Potter book when I was in the Philippines, and I started reading the next one. But what was the second one?
Chamber of
Secrets.
No.
Yeah, I didn't even
the
finish the
first
second one.
I don't even remember.
I just know the Sorcerer's Stone was the first one. It's the only Harry Potter book I read.
Completely off topic. They have made pin-up princesses, a princess calendar, like the Disney princesses.
I think
but in pin-up form. They're awesome looking.
There was one that Michael Turner had done.
They made an entire calendar. It's one guy who did it. They
Yeah.
made an entire calendar of it, and they look really nice. I'm just gonna say, like, they're not like really like provocative looking.
It's just like
They're just like princesses at 25.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
You know how they should have, the age they should have been when that shit happened. But they look really nice. You know,
Yeah,
I thought about purchasing one if it wasn't
No, I would.
$25.
I was gonna. Yeah, that's what I said because Michael Turner did one for 2010. He made a 2010 calendar, and I really wanted to get one, but it was like $30 because they're like, they're print to order.
Yeah, it's a collector's item, but
Yeah.
it's really cool, and the artwork is like really nice. You know,
It's comic
So,
booky.
Yeah, it's better than that almost. It's well, because you know comic books have to be like it has to be repeated so many times that they forget detail and stuff. But since it's just one picture,
It's very
they
detailed.
put a lot of detail into it, and it looks really good.
It had like Tinkerbell.
Yeah, and Wendy, Cinderella, The Little Mermaid, Rapunzel. You know, they had.
There was one. It wasn't a calendar, but this one artist did like the dark versions of the Disney princesses. Like Beauty and the Beast, Belle was just like all of them had like evil red eyes and stuff, or covered in blood. Like Pocahontas had like a bag of skulls and everything, and a big spear with blood smeared on it. I really like those.
It's 5 o'clock.
It is. I have to be at work in 30 minutes.
Yes, we gotta work, so we're gonna end it here.
But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and end it here. We're next week. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and do a vlogging when we go back to the comic book store. We're gonna vlog on the way there. Vlog coming back. I don't know if Michael will be able to come with us this time since he has work.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. If not, that's okay. He's not really big into comic books anyway. He would just sit there at the magic cards.
He would sit in the time vortex by the magic card table and disappear.
So. Well, maybe if he doesn't come, then we'll be able to go to Destin, we can still go to Destin even if he comes. We'll just have to kick his ass out.
Kick his ass out or say, hey, we're coming back in like an hour.
We'll
he'll
be
like,
back.
He'll probably not even notice. We'll come back like, hey, where's you go? Oh, okay.
Where
Did you know
did
we
we
went
go?
to the mall? No. Where'd you guys get drinks? What the hell? But yeah, if you again, I'm gonna say I'm sorry that but I uploaded the last podcast later. Hence, we're not reading any of the comments because there aren't any yet. Since we're recording this Thursday.
Yep.
It's Thursday, and I uploaded the last one Monday night. So it wasn't that long. It usually takes a couple days for everyone to get caught up or have time to read it, like for the weekend. So I'm actually gonna upload this one Saturday so that they can catch up Friday night with the last one. But I'll upload it Saturday. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I want to thank all of you guys for listening. If you have any questions or anything you want to see on the vlog, just let us know. And that's all for this podcast, I guess. Okay. Anyway, this is Ray signing out.
And Liz.
And Tatsu.
Peace.